Hey everyone, this is Mike, and I'm here with Isaac, and we're here to talk about some video games. More specifically, we're here to talk about Evo because, apparently, what's going on in the past weekend, and I was a little bit caught off guard by it because I'm usually used to Evo being during like July, August each year. Apparently, it was being hosted June this year, and yeah, I had a day off during the weekend, so I'm kind of glad that it was being hosted this weekend because I got to check out a bunch of matches, a few top eights, and whatnot. It's also good to see Mina RD still destroying people in Street Fighter Six and whatnot. And yeah, but what the most interesting thing about Evo this year was a lot of the game announcements. While you had a few of the more obvious like stuff, like like Kenshiro, Fist of the North Star, new characters, Lux for a 2x KO, that call it Bunkuna Killer for the new Street Fighter Crossroads game, which a lot of people are expecting to be Lee Fei, perhaps Bob and Tekken 8, which
I don't
looks
think that's
cool.
Lee Fei.
Some people are like saying maybe I know probably
I think it's
isn't,
the.
but like maybe a protege, somebody who trained by him. But
Well, yeah.
it's very interesting. It's like a lot of speculation about who this this the Bakuwana killer is. But yeah, he's pretty cool.
Bakuana.
Yeah, I can't pronounce that. But Bob in Tekken 8, he looks, doing Bob things. I kind of prefer Slim Bob over regular Bob, but
Bob's back. We got Robo Kai back for Guilty Gear. And they actually finally announced season one for the Avatar game.
yeah, well, the season one DLC
DLC
roster.
roster, which
Okay.
has been announced. So, yeah, some pretty good things coming out of Evo. But that's not the thing we're here to talk about,
Yeah,
isn't
the
it?
the thing that we're here to talk about were some of the other announcements. Like, it feels like bunch of games were getting like a weird shot in the arm with like either a new character for a game that was like years old, or basically an entire revival for super old games. Like biggest and examples being like the game Under Night in Birth 2 Sis Celeste getting a new game, and that game is like over 2 years old. Got a new character. BlazBlue Centrifiction, another game that's over a decade old, is getting a new character. Like, in that new character is I believe Trinity Glassfile, which is one of the six heroes, six legendary heroes. She's finally getting added to the game, especially considering for the longest time we had to play like that Trinity Fate character, which was that little girl version. Apparently now we're getting the actual Trinity, the actual hero of legend. But yeah, it's just, and again, the game is over a decade old, so it's kind of crazy that it's getting updated. And again, another the big like announcement was Art of Fighting 3R is like getting a re-release. Now, normally when it comes to like an old game getting just a re-release on like Steam or whatever, it would have been such a big deal. Like, okay, yeah, old games get re-released all the time. But this re-release is such a different beast because not only is it getting like a rebalance, it's also getting two new playable characters that have never been in like the Art of Fighting 3 ever, for like the very first time, which is insane that basically a 30-year-old game is getting like a major update. And I was like, no, no, what is with this weird trend that we're noticing that again, old games are either getting a shot in the arm or they're getting just straight up revived. And I'm just kind of curious, like, what's your thoughts on that?
Now, before going into the SNK revised Art of Fighting 3 was two new characters. Now, is this like a brand new um is this a like are they re-releasing this game again, or can you buy it now with an update? What?
They're just straight up re-releasing this game with an update. Like you can't buy it now. No,
Oh, okay.
it's a re-release. It's a
Oh, it's a
re-release.
re-release.
It's a complete re-release. Again, the game is getting like a rebalance for a 30-year-old game. And again, it's getting like King and Yuri, and they've never been playable in this game before ever, and they're getting updated the game because. And now I've never been the biggest fan of Art of Fighting, especially Art of Fighting 3. But a lot of people back in the day considered this to be like the 2D version of Tekken with how fluid the animations are and how the gameplay system works because it has a lot of like unique combo mechanics and stuff like that. And it was just again very unique for its time. So it's obviously it's basically a cult classic to many people to see it get again 30 years old. It's getting like updated. It's just very insane to see. And again, with those all these other old games getting like updated, I feel like this is like a new trend that a lot of these game companies are trying are giving a try to either like either like increase like interest in this game or either to build up hype for another game because another game that I forgot to mention that's also getting a shot in the arm that but it makes a lot more sense is Dead or Alive 6 Last Round. That's a pretty like very old game. In fact, let me check Dead or Alive 6. I kind of want to know like how old is this game? This came out 2019. That's almost like what uh that's basically 6 years old. Yeah, 6 years. That sounds right. 6 years old. Yeah, 6 years old. Obviously, it's getting a re-release for in the form of Dead or Alive Last Round. And okay, yeah, it's a game that's not it doesn't have been very well received. But the reason why, but it's getting a new character in the called Minato. Yeah, a new character named Minato. And yeah, nobody knows, and there's not many details for this character yet. But again, it makes sense that this game is getting a new character because they've already recently announced that Dead or Alive, new Dead or Alive in the series is coming very soon. So, so they want to obviously like build up hype and interest in the series being making a comeback with a new character in their old series. It's still just a little bit weird because again these games are just very old and like not a lot of people play them, especially considering that if your game isn't like Street Fighter or Tekken or Mortal Kombat, ends up becoming a quote unquote Discord fighter where you basically have to join a community on Discord in order to get any active matches because the matchmaking is basically dead in the water. So a lot of these games basically survive on like very small communities. But to see a lot of these old games getting revived is just it's a very weird trend that I feel like maybe it's just very weird. It's just very weird. I mean,
Um, I got a couple of theories. One, maybe where technology is in terms of system updates for maybe certain games right now. Maybe a lot of these companies are simply looking at older games and just updating it, maybe just because the people might not have the funds to maybe purchase maybe new games.
yes, I totally get that.
Maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, again, where everything's happening at the moment, maybe they think technology won't take another leap for a while.
Mhm.
And because of, RAM still being expensive, certain microchips and parts still be expensive, the next console might be a couple of years out until everything maybe calms down. So maybe everybody's looking at this point of let's look at certain games at the moment. Let's just kind of give a new fresher paint.
Yeah.
Let's give a lot of older these games better net code so people can sit down and connect. Um, Another situation that one can think about is, like you said, Dead or Alive is going to be making a brand new game in the next couple of years. So while we are working on the new Dead or Alive game, we're going to update an older game just to gauge interest.
True.
Speaking of interest, let's bring back older games too. Like you said, was new Art of Fighting 3, and let's just gauge where people want to see. Do they want to see a new Art of Fighting 3 game? Remember, SNK did bring in the creator, one of the leads in Tekken. Actually, brought in the main dude Tekken to head out their brand new studio.
Yeah, the Versus Studio.
Correct.
Although I'm kind of feeling like maybe I don't. We still have no idea what Harada is necessarily
We don't know Harada's plans was in the brand new studio.
Yeah.
However, maybe who knows? Maybe Harada's given a chance to, hey, maybe you want to work on bring a new art of fighting game back into life. And instead of maybe 2D, maybe we want to bring in a 3D version. Like you mentioned, people consider that. You just actually mentioned it earlier in the stream that it was kind of like Tekken Light in terms of its movements and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it is kind of proposed to bring in the guy that made Tekken. So maybe by introducing, just kind of throwing a flyer out there, the fact that they're even mentioning the new Path of the Warrior game, Art of Fighting 3R, gauges people's interest that maybe people do want to see these games again. So, yeah, I think that's really it pretty much. Other than that, only a couple of years back, not even a couple of years ago, maybe it is a couple of years ago, we got a new update on Virtual Fighter.
Yeah,
exactly the same time.
Vivo, yeah.
Exactly the same time with the announcement of Crossroads.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is kind of the new plan now. Of hey, when we are about to release a brand new sequel to one of your favorite fighting games, we are going to come back and update all these older games too now, just to keep up with probably the new demands of connection and a new way to be able to connect with new fighters before, and give opportunity for fighting game enthusiasts to look at these brand new games moving forward, to be able to sit down, to be able to try it. My only question is, these seems like they're all going to be re-releases. It doesn't seem like people that already have these games are going to get major updates. So that's the thought process I had moving forward.
Obviously a lot of people, these updates are, some of them obviously are DLC. You're gonna have to pay for it, like pay for a new character, obviously, or you're going to have to just buy these games outright. So it's not like they're going to just go to like an old copy of like a game and just like say, hey, it's updated for you to just play it now, like play it with all this like free stuff. Like, no, obviously not.
I am interested in the fact that normally SNK would normally go in a route where you have a bundle collection, and then when we introduce these older games, that's when we introduce netcode. We add in netcode and leaderboards and all these other special features to be able to sell you a product, maybe 10 or 30, where we put everything together in a bundle. So the fact that they're releasing a not a single player, a fighting game standalone is very interesting by that. But yeah, other than that, has there been any like new? What's the chat's been saying? What have been are people even excited about this? Are people really interested in that? Where's the gauges of that? Out of the curiosity about that, because it is kind of interesting to bring certain games back from the dead. And I think another thing too, you also have to remember, especially in games like Evo and all these other these tournaments, a lot of these older games do get play in smaller brackets. They may not get the biggest streams like in Evo or Combo Breaker, but the smaller brackets that are happening as we go on do support these games. So maybe SNK and Capcom are now looking at this market to be able to help older fighting game enthusiasts that love to host these tournaments that are giving them the tools for these games to be able to try it out. So I mean, again, that's a couple of theories that I'm sitting down throwing out at the moment.
It's just again, it's just very. It was just weird to see all these games just doing this kind of the same repeated pattern, like over and over and over again. And now it's obviously it's got a lot of people like guessing maybe some other well-known video games might get the same treatment because I mean recently Maximilian Dude noticed that Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom received a few like updates on the Steam version, and there was even like a little like patch note saying, "Hey, we fixed some bugs for this game," and it's very weird because why is Capcom why is someone from Capcom going into this like decade old game messing with files like this going into the game messing with like coding and patching it for people to play it like
It
it's
is
just like
very interesting that a lot of these games are
mhm,
getting tweaks and updates
mhm,
after all these years. Like you said, some of them have been only a couple of years, other have been in decades. So um, nobody's really given an answer to that
mhm.
at the end of the day, though. But I think it is kind of cool to see all these older games getting nice tweaks and updates to be able to handle new technology. And again, like you said, the best way to gauge gamers' interest in hopefully new future titles is to release an older game. And, maybe, like you said, Path of the Warrior might be one of those games that SNK is looking to bring back from the dead. Like you said, only a couple of years ago, they brought back Garo, which was one of the more favorite fighting games back in the day. Came out around 1999, the same time when Street Fighter 3 dropped, and didn't get enough of the recognition until now. But enough for SNK to kind of put their money in it and bring that up. And right now, as you can see, it's one of the more major games that were one of the were a part of the tournament, one of the mainstays right now in the current Evo cycle of gaming at the moment. So maybe this is SNK's next test to see that happen. So we'll
Yeah,
see what happens after that.
yeah. So basically, what do you think about these announcements at Evo? I mean, a lot of these fighting game announcements. What did you think about them? Do you think they're cool? Do you think they're okay? Do you think they're bleh? What do you feel about a lot of these fighting games getting again a shot in the arm or just re-releases after many years to either gauge interest or get some like drum up some interest in a new entry in the series. Sorry about that. A new entry in the series. Let us know if you are cool with this stuff and if you like what we do here. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. I'm Mike with Isaac, and we are saying peace.